Does this person hold a grudge longer than I do? She tells a story here. It's, somewhat long on TikTok, but it's blown up virally. What happened was, apparently, she has spent 15 years getting revenge on one guy that she had one interaction with. Now, who's crazier here? Do you think the woman telling the story or the guy she's telling it about? Is it revenge or is it stalking?
When I was in college, I went to a comedy show with a couple of friends, and my friend accidentally knocked her chair into the guy behind her and spilled his drink all over him, and he stands up and calls her a stupid fat bitch, which categorically not true, and he was not hearing her apology, and then he spits on her, like assault. So the next day, I find this guy on Facebook and see that he's obsessed with Walking Dead and Breaking Bad. Find spoilers for all the upcoming episodes, and I make a couple fake Facebook accounts and would message him spoilers on a weekly basis, and he would make these rage-filled Facebook statuses and tweets like, who is sending me this? It was so much fun. I really hate him. I don't think about him for another 8 years until I see a friend of a friend. They get engaged. I find out when they're pretty close to their wedding. I see some pretty sinister stuff on his Reddit. If it was your partner, you would want to know. So I jump on one of those old Facebook accounts, reset the password, get access to it, and send her all of the hey, you should check this out. And she breaks off the engagement. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but yeah, you shouldn't assault women and call them bitches.
Okay. It's a lot to take in there. And by the way, it's her regular voice. We didn't speed that up.
That's not sped up.
That's not sped up. That's just her, man.
Man, so she, 15 years ago, she's at a comedy club.
Correct.
Her not fat friend knocks a drink onto this guy who spits at her and insults her.
Calls her a fat bee, which is patently untrue.
So she goes to Facebook 15 years ago and finds out this man. How did we know?
I guess she knew his. I don't know how she got his name.
But clearly she did.
She did.
Then she figured out what his favorite shows were and decided to spoil them week by week by week.
Correct. Breaking Bad and Walking Dead.
Using fake Facebook profiles.
Yes, that she created to over and over and over again spoil these shows. Well, the shows both end. She doesn't think about him again for 8 years. Then finds out.
Goes dormant.
Goes dormant. Then sees a bunch of stuff he's posted on Reddit, which is insulting and demeaning to women. Finds out he's engaged
to a friend of a friend,
friend of a friend. Goes back, creates another account, or says to this person that he's going to marry, his fiance, take a look at what he wrote on Reddit, and she breaks off the engagement. Now, who's the crazy one here?
I'm Team Speedy Voice.
You like her for doing that?
Yeah, I'm with her. I love it.
But now,
what a life!
That's a lot. That you like that, even though she spills the drink, or her friend does. He calls her a fat bee and does not hear her apology. You would go those links for that many years.
I like the creativeness of it. Mm-hmm. And really, it's just spoiling some TV shows, but it ruins his day.
But it's creating fake Facebook. I mean, it's a lot to go through to do it,
Yeah,
I'm still good with it.
Really?
And especially, but
what about the breaking up of the engagement?
Fine. I mean, it sounds like the girl didn't know that he was, hiding this side of him.
Mm-hmm.
So
she's taken 15 years to really mess up this guy.
I'm good with it.
Do you think he can now track her down? Because she's all over.
I think so. Now she's viral. We know who she is. I think he could.
He probably remembers spitting on someone at a comedy club if that's what he did.
Well, he sounds like a horrible person.
Yeah, I was going to say this is not it's not like she's.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like he hasn't changed through the years at all.
Right, and he did spit on her friend.
Yeah,
that's
horrifically bad.
That's awful.
Yeah, I'm Team her.
Yeah,
Team Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah,
boy, but I just am shocked that anybody would take all that time and effort to go out and get back at someone.
It's almost like she took it on as a project.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a side job.
Went dormant for a while, then came back and did it again. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was a stunner to me. Mm-hmm. But I think Biggie's probably right. He is a terrible person. At least
that sounds like it.
The things you hear about him from her, it sounds like he's terrible. But I don't know very many people that would go to those links, create Facebook accounts and all that stuff. So a lot of people are debating now, like, is she obsessing? Is she? I mean, I think she is.
There might be a movie in there somewhere.
Yeah, she sure ruined his life, didn't she?
I don't think she ruined his life. I mean, this
guy...
Well,
she broke up his engagement.
Yes.
I mean, she changed his life.
It sounds like he was a bad enough person on what he was putting on Reddit that clearly his fiance needed to know.
Yeah.
I would like to know if I was about to marry somebody, but I didn't know this side of them.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you 100% on that, but she did change the course of his life. He's not going to marry who he thought he was going to marry.
Sure.
Now, spoiling TV shows is one thing. But breaking up the engagement, you're messing with somebody's life then.
Yeah.
I hear you. I mean, he whatever he put on Reddit, I guess, was bad enough to warrant it.
Also, I guess it's strange because she was a third party in this thing. She wasn't.
She wasn't even the one that got
spit on. She didn't get spilled or spit or anything on. She just watched it happen.
Yeah. This guy really made an impression on her. 15 years worth.
Yeah.
15. Imagine, think about 15 years ago.
15 years.
I mean,
15 years.
That's a
15 long
time to carry a grudge like that. I do it, but I don't go to any effort.
I bet the girl that got spit on.
I don't know how to go on Facebook.
The girl that got spit on probably sat there and said, "She's nuts." Even I didn't do that.
Man, I mean, yeah, she was the one that got spit on.
Where she is.
Exactly. We were talking about the priest that went and stomped on the Halloween pumpkins because he didn't like that. He thought they were satanic or
it's the devil time of year right now.
It is. It's happened again. Here we have another house that has put up controversial and risque Halloween decorations, and a city in Utah has asked them to take the decorations away. That story is next. Chanel, you agree with what this girl did, even for 15 years? Go ahead.
I absolutely agree with the girl.
And
it was a long time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she didn't harm him. She didn't go pop his tires. She didn't do anything bad but spoil some of his favorite shows. And then she stopped, and she did the right thing for the other girl because she saved the other girl probably a lot of her and a divorce.
Maybe so. That would be what she says.
We'll never know that part.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if you write it on Reddit, that's on you. Mm-hmm. You know, if somebody points it out to somebody, it's not her fault that she did that.
When you're on Reddit, Kelly, are you or are you just a made-up name?
Yeah, what are you?
That's private. I'm
even he doesn't know.
Well, I'm me. I'm me, but I never post anything. Mm-hmm. Just every once in a while, I'll say a little something. You know, I'll say, "Oh yeah," you know.
Your fingers ever approach the keyboard? Then you pull back?
Oh, many times.
Think twice about it.
Oh, I couldn't.
I've had things written out and then gone, no,
delete,
back over it. You know, I don't ever want to put myself out there too much. You know, but I only look there for sex stories and gym advice.
That's good practice.
That's all I do.
What are you more likely to comment on?
Usually gym advice. Somebody will say you know, I want to squat lower, and I'll say, just do it, sweetheart.
Pace yourself.
You know, yeah, something like that. I'll put it out there a little bit, but very
I'd like
rare.
to see you squat.
Very rarely.
delete.
The flag on there. No,
erase.
The flag
that's crossing streams right there. That's sexual and workout.
You can't do that. No, you can't do that. Rowdy Roddy, you're talking about this girl that some are saying she stalked this man for 15 years, but others are saying good for her. Go ahead.
Hey, either way, I mean, I appreciate the effort, applaud her there, but let's talk about who in the world is ever going, if she doesn't scream single, I mean, y'all have to visit the story in 5 to 10 years to find out how many people she's murdered since then.
Well, I would be worried. I think Chris Demm brought this. I'd be worried if I was her, this guy would take some revenge on her. First of all,
could.
I mean, he spit on somebody.
Or even the other bride. I mean, who knows? I don't know how grateful she is.
I mean, it went on 15 years. Now he knows she spoiled my shows all those years. He was anger-filled at the time, she said. I'd be worried. Now her identity is out there. Mm-hmm. The captain is on to talk about this girl. Captain, go ahead.
Yeah. F all those B's. This woman's controlling the narrative. She's controlling all the information. And let me tell you something. It wouldn't take 15 years for someone to find something out on me. I mean, let's think about this. Think about what Chris Kelly does in 15 days. I mean, I think in 15 years, figuring this guy out, that's a long time. We're going to her for the information, and she's controlling it. Oh, he did this on Reddit. Oh, he did this, and she's having to be secretive about it. It's like, I don't buy that. I think she has emotional and mental issues.
You think she's wrong for doing this? I don't think anybody would say anything bad about me. I mean, you can figure out what I'm doing, like the shows I watch and stuff like that. I don't think anybody would have any reason to do that to me. I mean, I would never spit on anybody at a concert. You know, if somebody spilled their drink on me and apologized, I'd accept their apology.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You know, he's a bad guy.
Yeah, this guy, he started it with the spitting and the
Now that's her. He's right. She's the only one we've heard from. You know, we don't know. We don't know what he would say.
Well, this guy also doesn't know.
Until now.
Gotta know now.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I'm with you. Sam, you're talking about this girl who stalked a guy or obsessed about a guy maybe for 15 years, but helped her friend. Go ahead.
Hey, yeah, good morning, guys. P1.
Thank you.
So I totally disagree with the last guy about this girl having mental issues. So if a guy is willing to, in public, spit on a random stranger and basically be verbally abusive to her, he's abusive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he's going to do that to a stranger, you better believe he's going to do that to the person that he's with.
Yeah, it's Biggie's take. Biggie thinks the fiance's lucky,
Probably true.
And whatever he writes out there, she could have just happened upon it on her own. It's pointed out to her. He got to own it, whatever he put out there on Reddit.
Is it possible now, none of us is the same person we were 15 years ago.
Right.
None of us.
Thank you, Sam. Appreciate
it. That's the only thing that might be a factor in the gentleman's favor.
I agree with that, except that whatever he wrote on Reddit.
How much time had passed from the time he wrote his Reddit post to?
I don't believe long, because she said she tormented him for 6 or 8 years about the shows, then went dormant for another 8.
So she's following him on 2 different social media platforms.
That's right.
Oh, no.
That's right. She's following him on. Well, she faked her Facebook accounts, and then she follows him on Reddit, and I think that's just popped up because he's getting ready to get married, and if you add those times together, 6 and 8 and another 8, that's 15 years,
right?
And so I'm picturing this as very recent that he wrote this stuff on Reddit.
All right,
Chad, you're commenting on this girl who went after this guy and broke up his engagement. Go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, I'm a huge fan of the show, guys.
Thank you very much.
Nowadays with the internet, people can do stuff like that. If it was in person, she didn't have capability to do any of that stuff. I don't think she would have done a single thing about it.
No, I don't think so either. If this had happened in the 70s, I don't think she would have done anything.
Only way to do it,
or flatten his tires in the parking lot.
Yeah, and then that's on her. Then that's a criminal.
That's a crime.
Or approach him face to face, or send him notes.
Yeah,
but.
Or read outside his job with a sign.
Yeah,
right.
It's
John A. spits on women.
Not nearly as likely then.
I'd like to know what happened more that night. Like, I bet he got kicked out of the club.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, to stand up and be like, you
fat,
and then
spit.
Yeah, so I guarantee you, he was booted out of the club.
Unless the friend, maybe the woman who knocked over the drink, maybe she was stumbling drunk.
Could have been
possible, yeah.
Or they just decided not to approach security. Like, let's move away from this guy or whatever. She went to a comedy show. I don't know if she was sitting.
Sometimes those tables are close together. In some clubs.
I mean, the woman was apologizing for the drink, and she said he wasn't hearing it. I don't know if he got kicked out that night or not. She didn't go on to say that, but she did. I mean, she really. The caller is right. In the 70s or 80s, when you didn't have access to that, you'd have to do something. She's done nothing criminal. She ruined TV shows. Austin, you're talking about the girl who went after this guy for 15 years. Go ahead.
Morning. I was just telling Biggie, I'd like to hear his side of the story.
Yeah.
And then also, with it being a prolonged event like this, I wonder if he could get her for defamation for ruining his engagement and kind of messing with his personal life.
I don't think so.
No.
It appears, I don't know that would work because it appears she used his own words.
Yeah.
He wrote it. Not defamation.
All she did was say, hey, look what your boyfriend wrote.
Yeah.
She didn't say it. Thanks, Austin. Appreciate that.
I still want to hear from the girl that got spit on. Where is she?
What
does she think about her friend? Or I guess it's her friend.
Like to hear from her and like to hear from the guy, and say, how does he defend himself on this?
Yeah.
A couple more calls on it, then we got to play Put Up or Shut Up Rock and Roll Trivia. Patrick, you're talking about this girl. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing? So, real quick, I don't think she's as crazy as this is being portrayed. I think the timeline, you hear 15 years, but, the first thing happened, and, the guy sounds terrible. She could have been drunk. Well, that happened, right? Well, so she sought out immediate revenge, and she did that. Well, then she mellowed out, she disappeared, went about her life, and it's just so happenstance that years later, so-and-so is marrying so-and-so through a friend of a friend, and it reignited her interest. And so it wasn't like 15 years of hard dedication.
Well, true, but it was 7 or 8 years because Breaking Bad and the other show, Walking Dead, she kept ruining those shows. She said for 6 or 7 years she went dormant for 8.
And Walking Dead is still on.
Yeah, Walking Dead is still on, surprisingly.
Yeah. I bet he quit watching like most of us.
I mean, come on. Enough is enough.
Yeah.
Wait, once Rick left, what was the point?
Yeah, that's the point.
It's off topic, though.
But it's an interesting point.
Heroin Scott, put a cap on this. Go ahead.
Okay, very simple. She played an ultimate Uno reverse card because she actually helped him, because if he was that awful, this woman would have probably divorced him, took him for half his stuff, and if they had children, she'd have got child support and alimony and everything else. So, yeah, completely oomph on her part. She didn't help nobody. All she did was help him.
Well, she may have helped the fiance too, but that's Heroin Scott. He sees the other side of things.
She ruined Breaking Bad. Did you see Breaking Bad?
Listen, if you ruin Breaking Bad, yeah, I saw
maybe
Breaking
Heroin Scott couldn't watch.
Right, maybe
too close to home.
Yeah,
too much. It's too much.
Yeah, that's true.
I get it.
That's true.
He's claiming that this woman ruined a beautiful wedding and a magnificent divorce.
That's right. Yeah. Yes, but I'm telling you. Yeah, you should. The worst thing she did was spoil Breaking Bad. The ending is so good.
Magnificent.
It's from beginning to end. It's phenomenal.